Hi, my name's Sean Shaler. That's my friend Chris Ford, aka The Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter fame. This is Avatar The Last Podcasters, the last of our three kind of abbreviated holiday/vacation episodes. Thank you so much for bearing with us. And in this spin-off episode, if you will, we just thought it would be fun to cover the details of the Avatar Netflix series that we know or other semi-substantiated rumors and things so far. Kind of an Avatar Netflix series so far as of June. No, I guess it'll be July. What it'll be, July 10th by the time this is published. So just everything that we happen to know or have experienced at this time. Chris, initial commentary.
No, let's get right into it.
It's been a roller coaster. I'm just gonna say that it's been a roller coaster of emotions.
My enthusiasm.
Yes. So
Oh man.
we broke it into three sections. The first one we're just gonna call the announcement, and I only have two dates up here, and they don't seem very related, but there was no other place to put that second one.
Yeah, so we got the announcement in September of 2018. Boy, that was a great day for me. Like it's weird. Like I remember exactly it was on my old job. I was in some meeting with like maybe it was the Secretary of the Treasury of the state or something like that. Don't know why I was in a meeting with him. It was only me and like four other people. Not exactly sure why, but I remember just my phone blowing up. And for me, my phone never blows up. But random people were texting me like, "How happy are you? Like, or what do you think and stuff?" I'm like, "Oh crap, what do I think about what?" Because I can see messages on my watch. That way, I don't have to look at my phone in the meeting. So I was really excited. And the great news about that was that we'll get into later that the creators were involved in everything, and it was just great news.
That was like the pivotal part coming out of the gate. Is like, hey, this is a Bryan and Mike live action series.
The sign-in peaked very early.
Yes, very much so. Do you recall off the top of your head, though, one thing I couldn't find is, was there an announcement prior to it happening? When did we find out that Avatar and Korra were coming to Netflix? Do you have any
That
idea? Was that like
ooh,
mid 19 when we found out those guys were going to be on Netflix? Like
it must have been.
still pretty much peak excitement for
It
this
was
series.
afterwards. It was afterwards. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't remember exactly when, but it was afterwards.
Okay. Got it. And then I just wanted to put on here, like, we got this, and obviously these series, especially of this size and caliber, announced well in advance of anything happening. And then it was obviously everything was slowed to a very substantial halt when an international global pandemic hit, and in March 2020 U.S. at least is kind of when everything here started shutting down. Let's say late March, early April. And so what excitement that we had at that point came to more of a cautious, everything kind of put on hold way. So tempered in a different way at first. Just wanted to note that was March, April 2020 timeframe.
Yep. So May 20 out on Netflix. No,
That's
August
when it
2020.
actually happened. Is
Yes.
May 2020 actually
Oh,
Avatar
gotcha.
came to
Yeah, it was
Netflix? Yeah.
announced. Yeah, it was announced afterwards. Um, yeah. So then in August of 2020, uh, Bryke, which I spelled Bryke, left the
You're right. It
project.
is a. Yeah, you're right. Good point.
So, um, I don't know, but I'm correcting you on
Well, I guess
a fan
Mike
spelling
would
it.
still Brian would be with a Y, but Mike would be with an
Yeah,
I. So you know what? No,
that is.
I rescind my statement.
I mean, all the fans spell it Bryke, but you're the first that I ever seen it spelled Brike. But it could go both ways. Um,
Bryike. Got it.
um, so they left the project citing creative differences, and they released some pretty scathing, I feel like, accusations on Netflix. That's too harsh of a word.
That's too
um,
strong.
Yeah, it's too strong, but some pretty scathing experiences with them, I think. And I mean, they were pretty broad about it,
And they're pretty
but
professional-ish, or at least
yeah,
professionally
they were professional.
courteous
I mean, they
about it.
still they still support the project because they said they met some great people. They said they know some people that are still working on it, and but they found Netflix to be not great partners to work with, and I feel like they kind of felt betrayed by it. So that's the assignment. One thing, even before this, like you just felt like there wasn't something right going on, right? Because it was announced in August of 2018. So up to this point, wait, was that August of 2018?
Yep,
Right?
yep.
Jeez, yeah. 2 years later, we
September
get
2018, pardon.
September. Okay, yeah, same difference. So almost 2 years later, there's no updates on cast, no updates on production, no updates on anything. You just get little bits of stuff here and there. So I was for sure it's going to happen because it's a huge IP. I knew it was going to happen, but it just something in your gut wasn't hitting right. It's like, why is it so slow going? All right, so they left the project. That was the biggest crush. That's when my assignment just dropped so low.
I feel like I don't know anything about TV production at any level. My excitement really did temper very strongly with the pandemic, but just in a delayed way, just in the sense of we have no idea when it's going to get off the ground. Don't think I ever leaned too far in the if it is going to happen at all territory or anything like that. But so I feel like in my mind it had kind of been on hold, and so not to the stage of forgetting about it, but just actively kind of not thinking about it at all. And so to me, it felt at least a little bit like the announcement hit out of nowhere. Again, just not being quite as aware of how production and things go. It's like we got no news for so long, kind of back of mind, just trying to be patient, and then bam, 5 Instagram posts.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
All right.
I did want to note though, May 2020 Avatar on Netflix. But it's not just that it was on Netflix; it's that it was amazing on. It was wildly successful on Netflix, and then even Korra, for all of the sort of public dismissal of Korra as a series, at least relative to Avatar, also wildly successful on Netflix in terms of viewership and popularity, and that was August 2020. So just putting those in
Yep.
there to show, like, hey, fanship of the show, fine, still great.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm sure Netflix sees that, and they're like, especially Avatar. Avatar broke records for them. Horror was successful as well, but Avatar was just like breaking records, and like to me, that's easy money for
Yeah.
them.
So yeah, just wanted to call those out for the sake of fanship still being 100% on board and high and ready with the series.
Yeah. Oh, real quick with the cast, we did learn kind of via a couple different news articles, especially from Avatar News. I follow Avatar News a lot to get a lot of Avatar news, appropriately named. Um, that and some of the casting stuff has come out. They're casting appropriately. There were some rumors before, which I think were kind of fairly accurate, that um, that they were kind of changing up the ages, but since then they've changed them back to kind of what they should be, and and that's good. And they're also casting appropriate to the characters' ethnicity, so that's really good to hear. And that I was never worried about, even when Bryan and Mike left the project, because that's just you're just asking for trouble with that type of project, especially because what happened in the past with the M Night Shyamalan movie. Um, so we got a little bit of stuff on the cast. There's been recently some rumors about the cast and things changing up. There was kind of an audition script that was leaked, and it was purposely false. So it would say like, "Oh, Aang had Aang has parents, and Zuko is jealous of Aang for whatever reason, and Aang has to do something for the school principal. I don't know. It was weird, but oftentimes in Hollywood, casting agencies or the studio themselves will send these fake kind of um, casting descriptions or story descriptions to throw off people, right? Because you don't, because just to be kind of more incognito. But those things are very normal, and you can just ignore those because yeah, because it's just for the actors to get a sense of the characters, not actually reflective of. Usually, it's not, or oftentimes, it's not reflective of the story itself. Uh,
That's really interesting. I kind of like that. Like you get, I don't know, this these wacky off kilter casting calls for something you think you know. So what's Aang doing now?
yeah.
Aang and the other
Um,
three stooges today will try to save the orphanage and
yeah.
like you to audition for the part of Mo.
Um, so then also, it's been sort of confirmed that Albert Kim, we talked about that he will be the showrunner for the show. He had worked on things like Nikita and Leverage, and notably, he's Asian. So that's, I think, kind of a good to go in that direction to have a person of Asian descent helming something that should have a lot of Asian talent behind it and representation behind it. Also, other representation like Native American and everything, but they seem to be trying to cast those appropriately. And I have no qualms with Albert Kim. I would have probably picked someone, I don't know, that has done something more so in the genre. Possibly someone who did like Blue Assassins, something like that, or the person behind Warrior that's on HBO Max. Those things that have a lot of fight choreography in them, and a couple different. Blue Assassin has elements of magic in it, and also, I think that just would have been a lot better for the show. And also, I don't know when the last time Albert Kim has done any work. I feel like this casting, someone was just like, "Hey, I know a guy. He hasn't been busy in a while,
He was just hanging out on his
and
couch yesterday when I talked to
yeah,
him.
and he seems interested in it." And they're like, "Well, we just lost Brian and Mike. Sure, whatever."
Uh,
So
Again,
the
I
twist
don't even
doesn't.
know if I knew what a showrunner was until this note came up, and then you had to explain to me.
Yeah, a showrunner on a show is pretty much like a director is on a movie. Like even though they don't direct kind of individual episodes, they're kind of
In
they
charge of
they
the
they
larger direction,
yeah.
pun intended. Makes enough sense.
Um, oh, a couple other crew that's been announced or slash heavily rumored. Where was I here? Somebody who's directing episodes. Oh, so a couple of the things. IMDb lists Ryan Halprin and Lindsay Labarotte as executive producers. I don't know what they've worked on before, but that's
They sound
people.
like lovely names.
um, let's see. Oh, so we recently learned that Michael Goy is set to direct the new Netflix series. He'll direct a couple of episodes. He's directed things on American Horror Story, Swamp Thing, and Mary and Megan is Missing. I've watched
Hmm.
Swamp Thing. It's a really good show, really well directed, and I don't think there's any episodes that I thought were bad. So
Hmm.
that's good. Um, so yeah, so that's kind of it. I think on the cast and crew part of it.
Um, it is funny to think about, and I say funny, I mean this strictly 100% facetious of like bringing in an Asian showrunner, and then like if they still just went and like whitewashed cast at Netflix's just hey, remember when they did
Uh,
this in that movie? Yeah, let's do it again.
well,
Let's see how they take it.
they had a Asian. That's what happened in the last movie. M Night Shyamalan is Asian,
Oh yeah,
um,
that's right.
and they
Now I feel
which
ridiculous.
was part of the like. So you cast, so you cast the villains, has your own kind of ethnicity of like Middle Eastern and of Indian and people who probably look more like M. Night Shyamalan. Like, what type of, I don't know, self-hate is this that you cast everybody else as white? But
Every other movie but Slumdog Millionaire. That's us.
yeah.
Uh,
Oh man.
last last bit we thought we would cover is what little we know about the shooting of the show so far, and future. We've got some potential target dates, and then also just for fun, I included that it was just February 2021 that we had Avatar Studios announced. So thought that was a fun parallel to add into this slide.
Yes. Yeah. All my excitement has shifted to Avatar Studios
Mine as
because
well.
I mean, one thing we're gonna get new Avatar content. Like that's new stories. That's huge news, and I feel like that was to me was a bigger announcement that has a bigger impact on the Avatar universe than live action adaptation. Because really, once you do a live action adaptation, it's like, all right, you do the adaptation and boom, you're done. Like this is like, no, the world is expanding.
Not to
Like it's
mention the live action, like especially at this point, like that won't even be canon at all. So it's
yeah,
we got new real lore coming. So yeah, definitely
exactly.
broke off. We branched off on a different path, but over here on this Netflix path, the only dates I found of note were that the targeted dates, and this is from that article that Chris sent over, was that targeted filming start date allegedly November 2021, and then the next one I put April
To
2020,
April
but it's
20.
2022.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, alleged end target date April 2022.
Yes,
That
and that news comes from Avatar News again, and I believe them to a certain extent. They tend to be
Well, I
very
mean, they even said it's targets, right? So even if it doesn't work out,
yeah,
doesn't mean the news itself was incorrect.
yeah. And he's guessing that he feels like December 22 is actually would be December 2022 would probably be when it's released, and I agree with that. Mostly because a similar show, The Witcher, which requires a lot of fight scenes, choreography, a little bit of CGI. So its first season filmed from October 2018 and finished in May 2019. So May 2019, it premiered in December of 2019. So if Avatar finishes in April, I can see it needing another month of CGI, an additional month of CGI than The Witcher would take. So then that would put it at uh, December 2022.
Is
And also,
there sales or popularity wise, is there benefit to releasing in December or certain months? What's the TV
I
equivalent of a summer blockbuster, I guess?
I would think so, because to me, you don't ever want to release something kind of in the new year because people come back from vacation and stuff. I don't know, they got other stuff kind of on their mind. Most movies, like in movies wise, big movies are never released like in January and February. Like between January 1st and February 14th, because rom-coms come out February 14th, there's really nothing ever big released. Um, and it's because you just want to not release. If you think a movie's gonna be successful, you don't release in that time frame. I think releasing one in December is good. Maybe like early December or mid December. That way you get people talking about it. People go visit their families, their friends.
Catch the kids home on break.
Yeah, get a little bit more word of mouth with it. Yeah, catch people on vacation that want to catch it. So December, I think, is a good release date for it. Although it could go November, that will line up kind of with the Element type of deal, right? Book one's water. No, December. I just feel like early book one has a lot more fall vibes in it. I don't know. I'm just remembering when Aang fought Jet and there was a bunch of dead leaves flowing in the wind and
Yeah,
stuff.
but it starts off in the water tribe with lots of ice and snow. So yeah, throw that at
Yeah,
Christmas. Make it a Christmas story.
yeah,
Well, I mean that seems like a very reasonable projection to me, not knowing anything at all. But I don't know, that
yeah.
seems reasonable. And I'm sure
Uh,
Hopefully at that time we have any amount of interest whatsoever. No, I'm just kidding. We'll
Yeah.
watch it regardless.
I mean, just imagine though, like I feel like at the earliest it will release in November or December 2022. So that's a whole 4 years since it was announced. This project is taking its time deliberately and unintentionally.
Yeah, I was gonna say some things in its control, some things out. So
Yeah.
understood. A lot of entertainment projects throughout this past year and 5 months or what
Yeah.
have you have taken unconventional routes and lengths of time. So kind of a little slack, but I think some of it
Yeah.
was their own doing as well.
One other crew person that I didn't mention before was Jeremy Zuckerman. Jeremy Zuckerman was the composer, the musical composer of the both Avatar and Korra series. He was, I won't say signed on originally, but he was agreed to be on because he's really good friends with Mike and Bryan. But there was nothing officially, he never officially signed on to anything, and I highly doubt he will come in to do this project without Mike and Bryan
That
being
would
on
be
it. So
like an
that's really sad.
uncomfortable question to have to ask him. Like, so you still coming to work tomorrow? And he's like, no.
Yeah.
What?
I mean,
No, absolutely
someone
not.
will probably still use his music, if I had to guess, as a base point, and kind of go from there. But I highly doubt it'll be him.
Understandable. And so that's as nice of a recap as we can provide. And we say recap pretty loosely. We only know so much, but as good of a recap as we can provide at this time. If anything happens, Chris, in the next 3 weeks, we're going to insert it right here. And there you go. There is the most recent news, unless nothing happened.
Wow,
In which case,
I can't believe they decided to cast Aaron Taylor Johnson as
breaking up.
I can't believe they had M. Night Shyamalan come back and
It's
direct some
so
episodes.
crazy.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I would honestly be fine with that if to direct episode. I know many Avatar fans would just be like, "No, he's supposed to be." M. Night Shyamalan is an amazing director. He really is.
He is a good director.
He's an amazing
He's a
director,
good
Sean.
director. He has put out some garbage movies that he needs to be held accountable for. He's a good director.
That is, he has the ability to be an amazing director.
You sound like Stephen A. Smith talking about all these young NBA players. Very cautious wording. I forget what I was going to say now. Oh, wow, it's amazing they brought Michael Bay in to do some of the fight scenes. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. So, yeah, that's our recap.
Michael Bay is an amazing... I'm kidding.
Chris, I'll drive to your house right now. I don't know where it is, but I'll find it. Yeah, I might still have the address.
You could probably find yeah.
I think I've vaguely... No, I don't remember where it is. I got the address in there somewhere. Anyway, in the meantime, we would love to hear your thoughts, your feedback. What's your remaining interest level in this thing? We've said multiple times we'll still watch it regardless. That just may or may not be a good thing. We're starting to lean more and more maybe toward the latter. We'll see. Try not to judge too much in advance, but we will watch it. We'd love to hear your thoughts on where you're at excitement level wise. Be very interested to hear. Chris, final thoughts on Avatar Netflix series so far and what we know.
I'm excited to see the cast and to see the first trailer. The first trailer is going to be so indicative of my feelings towards this and how my excitement would wane, or I feel like my excitement is going to just keep going down until I see a trailer and I see they're going to take it down more or take it up slightly, but it'll never go back up to the point of when it was first announced.
Even a really good trailer, I think we've gotten to the point where I don't know. I love trailers. It's not that I'm not fond of trailers, but I have created a large separation in my brain between trailer and product quality. So even a great trailer would just like hold the status quo for me. Like a bad trailer will sink it, but great trailer holds status quo. So we'll see. I'm intrigued either way. And that's all we have for this episode. Thanks again for bearing with us through some abbreviated episodes. My name's Sean. That's Chris Ford, a.k.a. The Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter. And this is Avatar The Last Podcasters. We will see you next time, kind of back to our regularly scheduled programming. Catch you later. No, Chris, you're breaking up. We can't hear you. You got to keep dropping the beat louder so we can hear you more clearly.